Welcome.
We ain't afraid of no ghosts.
This is your number one podcast for ghoulies and ghosties and long-legged beasties. Bringing you everything you need to know about things that go bump in the night and interviewing the personalities behind them. Make sure your doors and windows are locked. Now, here are your hosts, your ghost hosts, Scott and Julie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Paranormal Project. Hi, Julie. How are you today?
I'm good, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing just great. So,
Great.
you see that
Hello,
staircase?
everyone.
You see that staircase behind me?
That is the infamous staircase. Yes, that we touched on briefly last show and talked about a little bit of what took place on that staircase.
We did, and we can talk about it a little more. But this is the staircase of the Wilson Castle. And for anyone who knows me knows it's one of my favorite places to investigate. Not only is the castle absolutely beautiful, but there's so much history, and the paranormal activity has been just incredible. And what's really nice is the paranormal community has come out, they've supported this location, and now they're able to do a lot of the renovations that a place of this magnitude, needs in order to stay afloat and to protect it from the elements and so forth. So I am so happy to have Andy and Denise here today. Denise owns the castle. She is, I don't know if it's third, fourth generation, but she owns the castle, and it is just a wonderful, wonderful place to be. You've enjoyed yourself there, Julie, too. We've been together, I don't know, at least a couple of times, haven't we?
Let's see, I've been there 3 times, I believe. We've been there
maybe
together.
3 together,
Once.
yeah.
At least, and it never ceases to amaze me that there's always something a little new going on with the paranormal activity there, although they've been doing so many renovations, and we all know how that goes with renovations and what happens. So yeah, it's just a beautiful place up on a hill overlooking, the rolling hills of Vermont, overlooking them. Absolutely beautiful.
And when you think of, we just came back from Scotland, so we know that there are castles there. You don't think of there being castles here in the United States, but this is a castle, and it's an amazing, amazing condition. And you're going to love these two. Why don't we just bring them out, Julie? What do you think? Andy and Denise, hello, and welcome to the
guys.
show.
How are you?
I am so glad that you joined us. So you're in the office at the castle, and I'm not in the castle, but I look like I'm in the castle. I'm sitting in front of the grand staircase. Tell me about this castle. Andy, you've done the tours a number of times when I've been there. And was it 1890 something that the castle began construction?
1885, and it lasted until 1892. So 7.5 years is roughly the construction period.
And who was it that built the castle? So if I remember correctly, there was a man and a woman, and the woman it was her family that has all the money, right? That had all the money. Yes. And that's where this was coming from?
Yeah, so it was built for a Dr. John Johnson and his wife, Sarah Robbins. And he was actually the native Vermonter. This was his family's farmland. And she was an English lady, and her family had all the money that was required to build this. And he had met her on his travels. He was a holistic medicine healer, married her, brought her here, and had this built. He hired 50 European craftsmen, and he actually spent $1.3 million of her family's money on the construction of the building. So that's 35 to 50 million adjusted for inflation roughly today. So and kind of what happened is her family, they were financing everything, and then 8 years after they had moved in, they cut it all off. And in 1900, a word was sent to John that he'd have to finance this on his own. And he actually was very upset about it, and he packed his bags and left the next day. So Sarah and Elliot remained here a few weeks, and then they left. And then the castle was sold to another family quickly after that. So,
and it was a cosmetology school too for, I don't know how long that was, but that was early 1900s maybe?
For a brief time in the mid 30s. And we believe that That was the last owner before Colonel Wilson had purchased it. And believe it or not, he only bought it for $12,000.
Oh my gosh.
Which today would be $240 roughly $1,000.
Even at
Still a bargain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it was called the LA Academy, and it was a beauty school. They were actually going to be the first live-in and kind of study in the same building school in the country. So
they lived in it and they studied in it. That's really interesting.
In the same building.
In the same building. Wow.
Yep.
And then Herbert bought it. Now, Herbert, Denise, was that your grandfather or your dad?
My grandfather.
That was your grandfather. Okay.
My mother's father.
Your mother's father. And then it's been in the family ever since. And here you are.
Yes.
Are you the first one to not live in it full time?
Yes.
Because your mom lived in like where the way in the back where the servants' quarters are. Is that where she ended up spending most of her time?
She did, and my grandparents did as well.
So when did they stop living in the main part of the castle?
In 1961.
Oh, a long time ago.
Was there a reason why they moved from the main part into the servants' quarters?
He opened it to the public.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Right. As so many in the UK have done in order to be able to keep up these properties, because the price of everything is just skyrocketing and it's just crazy. So that makes a lot of sense.
Do you remember there being servants there at any time?
My grandparents always had a lot of people working for them.
No kidding. So when did all the paranormal stuff begin? What was it like that when you were a child? Do you remember?
No, we never talked about ghosts or spirits. I think we would have ran out of here.
Well, did you have, a lot of people don't talk about experiences.
Right.
Did you happen to have any experiences when you were growing up?
Not as a child, but I really didn't pay attention to that. I didn't think about spirits or ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Things could have happened and I didn't pay attention, maybe.
Yes.
The thing is, though, and truthfully, and we've been there, and the place can, your mind can run wild, especially if you're there in the dark. It's this big, damp, cold castle. But if you're not turning on a spirit box or a K2 meter or a voice recorder.
Right. It's quiet.
It's very comforting.
Yeah.
It is a quiet place. I have to say, I got a great night's sleep last time I was there. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I just said, okay, I'm going to sleep now. I've been very respectful, so please respect my quiet time, and stretched out on the couch and got a great night's sleep. Got upstairs, walked down the stairs, and all hell broke loose after that.
And that's when it started. Oh, gosh.
When it started.
Do you remember that story, Andy and Denise? So there was a woman that was with us on our investigation, and we, it was right around Halloween, and we'd been walking around that table for a good part of the evening, the pool table on the second floor. The skeletons were propped up there playing pool.
Oh, I do remember this now.
And we didn't, we'd walked around that, nothing.
For 5 hours, we actually put heavier pieces of equipment on the table. Skeletons didn't move. Nothing moved. We were, doing our due diligence to be careful of the location. But we were walking to and fro, because people who have not been at Wilson Castle, this is a main hallway. And there are rooms off of the hallway and another staircase off of the hallway. So it was inevitable that we would continuously walk past this pool table.
Oh, yeah.
And then downstairs to the restroom on the first floor to get ready so we could leave. I was down in what is now, I don't know if you call it the library. It used to be the pool room at one time, that room in the front of the house with one or two other people. And she was there. And as soon as Julie got to the bottom of the stairs, the pool cues came off the rack, knocked the skeleton over. One of them went through the skeleton and impaled it. And if you've never heard a woman swear, let me tell you, It was this screaming down the stairs, 1 or 2 or 3 F-bombs, and on the way down was
No way, no, I'm done, no way,
my
down
God.
the stairs.
And it
I
was
mean,
hysterical because it had been, I won't say it was quiet. We got things, recorders and that kind of stuff, but
Sure.
nothing like that. And
Right.
nothing.
it was as if they knew she was nervous, because she was nervous. She had never been.
Yes.
She was kind of new at this. She had never been there, and she even asked Julie, "Do you mind if we, kind of stay in the same room?" So
She was very nervous, and she did. She said, "Can we stay in the same room?" And I said, "Not a problem. Everything's fine." I said, "This is a very safe place," which it is. It's very safe. I honestly think that there was an energy there that was playing a prank on her. I really think that they thought this would be kind of funny to scare the newbie.
Oh my gosh.
and they succeeded.
They certainly did.
And
They
it's
will play
to me.
pranks on you.
What was that, Andy?
They will play pranks on you. That they've not been known for
Yeah.
that.
There we
You know,
go.
Do you know anything about a little boy being there too? Because that was the visit too, where we were in the kitchen and there was a little boy that seemed to be there in spirit, and
Did
he
you get
seemed.
his name by chance?
I don't remember if we did or we didn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Remember the little boy in the kitchen, Julie?
Right, I didn't hear what Denise asked.
Did we get a name?
Did we get a name? I thought it was Thomas.
Thomas.
I don't remember.
Sometimes names are tough sometimes, but I was getting the impression of a Thomas.
Oh, Susan.
Hi.
I'm not sure of a Thomas per se. There is reports that there are little children that do like to play here, and a lot of them aren't necessarily connected to the home. This is just a place that they feel comfortable. But then again, a little boy named Elliot has come through quite a bit recently. And he is actually connected to the house because the Johnsons, the 2 original owners of the castle, had a little child named Elliot in 1889. And he was 11 years old when his father left, and his mom and him went to Boston at that point.
We were getting about a 10 or 11-year-old.
Yeah, so maybe he just kind of enjoys the place. This is a place that he grew up in when he was really a small child.
Right.
He didn't pass there though, right? I mean, it may be that he just came back and just visits,
Yeah, and that's the odd thing with the castle is there's been only a couple reported deaths, but there seems to be quite a few more spirits than who has actually passed here. So it is thought that a lot of the spirits here just want to be here. This is a safe spot for them, a place that they may have loved. There's also a reported portal in the closet in Sarah's bedroom, so that may be bringing others in as well.
Well, there is a theory that spirit does return to a place that they felt happy, loved, that it may be home, and they will visit those areas quite often. So the spirit does not need to have passed in that place to have fond memories of it and to visit every so often. So that makes a lot of sense.
It's just a thought. This is just came to me, but too, and who knows, when you cross over, can you go back not only to a place, but to a time that was really has held a special memory for you, that was really a wonderful time. And if that was his time, could be why he's showing up as a little boy and not as an adult coming back to that castle. So, it's like, who knows, it's all.
Again, that's another theory, is that some spirit will show themselves as children. Some will show themselves, they may have passed when they were 80 or 90, but they show themselves in what they thought was their prime in their 30s or their 40s. So it makes a lot of sense that if that was a happy place for him and he remembers being there. And the other thing is there's also residual. And unless we can get intelligent responses from spirit, if it was one of the happiest times of his life, and that energy is just imprinted in the castle on the grounds, and when the timing is right, that residual energy will just come through, and you'll hear the running and the giggling or whatever.
No, absolutely. There was even just last October, there was a picture that one of our friends, Susan, took of Sarah's bedroom, and you can see a little boy looking out the windows. And Scott, I don't know if you had seen that photo. I'll send it to you at the post of this if you haven't, but
Yeah,
it is amazing because you do see the boy's socks being reflected off the floor.
is that the red bedroom? The pinkish
Yes.
red bedroom? That's Sarah's bedroom.
Yeah, that seems to be, that was considered the most haunted spot in the house.
There's a lot of energy in that room.
Yeah.
There's a lot, honestly. Portals, I don't know about portals. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I know people talk about portals, but I can tell you the energy in that room was the strongest. I think anywhere in the castle, the energy in that room is incredibly strong.
That's what the consensus is. And I'm with you, Julie, about the portal. I used to kind of, I'm not going to say not truly believe in it, but I didn't know what to think of it. And it was the consistency of people telling me that was what it was. Right. And that there was something nefarious going on kind of in that closet area. Mm-hmm. It was all of that made it more real to me. And honestly, there's not very many groups that do stay in that space where the closet door isn't closed in the morning when I come in. So people usually do shut that off and are like, no, we're not doing that.
I slept in there last time I was there. I slept in that room. And I don't remember if the closet was open or closed, to be honest with you. I don't remember, but they left me alone. They didn't.
It's Sarah, that's her room. And it said that she's pretty friendly. She is enjoying the attention that she's getting and everyone coming and trying to learn more about her and ask about her. And her story is being told. So she's actually enjoying that.
Have you heard anything about that bathroom between the two bedrooms on the second floor?
The only thing that people have said that was kind of odd is the doorway between the bathroom and the teal bedroom. Mm-hmm. But nothing that really sticks out. So somebody had said that could be kind of the exit portal into the home, where the entrance portal would be in her bedroom, the one that we were just prior discussing. Mm-hmm. But that space is talked about less. There has been a photo that was taken about 4 or 5 years ago, which does show a lady in a black dress with a white collar standing in that doorway, where there wasn't somebody in that door when they took that picture.
No, I found the energy in that bathroom to be as strong as the energy in the closet, to be honest.
It was swirling.
Wow. It was swirling. It was so strong. There is a theory that portals are wormholes into another dimension, into another space-time continuum, that type of thing. And they come and go. Yeah. So there could possibly be portal / wormhole / time storm, as they're calling them now. That's sort of the new buzzword in paranormal research is time storm, as opposed to portal or wormhole. But I just did 30 years at MIT in the Aeroastro department. It's always going to be a wormhole to me, But basically, the theory, what they're looking at, what they're thinking about, is that they will open and close. So that it's not always there. So if someone comes in and they're insistent, there's a portal, aka time storm there, because of whatever reason that they've presented whatever evidence, and then someone else may come in and it's just not there. The evidence that's been presented is just not there. That would make a lot of sense in what we're looking at now as a time storm, as opposed to a portal, which a portal would always be open. A time storm is going to be very different, and it will open and close at different times.
Interesting.
Is that the same thing as a vortex?
No, it's more if you think about it, the old fashioned, 1950s, 1960s definition of a wormhole in space,
Okay.
which is a wormhole, a black hole. You're literally going into another time and dimension. Um, so if you're kind of like a Star Trek fan, they used to talk about them all the time, and they actually used, well, the theory on Star Trek is that they would use wormholes to travel from one galaxy to another because of the difference in the time space continuum. So the more we learn about things like that, the more I think we learn about what happens here on our planet also.
Right.
Okay, I will step back now.
No, I was going to say, Julie, the first time we went to the castle together, that's exactly what it was, that you could feel this swirling energy in that bathroom. The
Yes.
second time, or the
When I
last
said
time,
that, we both said that. I looked at you and you looked at me. I didn't know that you were such a powerful psychic medium. You didn't know I was such a powerful empath. We didn't really know each other. And we both stepped into the bathroom with a few other people that were investigating with us. I looked at him and he looked at me and I said, "Do you feel that?" And he said, "Yes, I thought it was me. You got, your hair was standing on end. It was like static electricity in the
that's 'cause
bathroom."
it's only like a quarter of an inch high, so it
Yeah, right.
when yours stands on end,
Then we know. But yeah, it was, Scott and I really didn't know each other, and we both just looked at each other, and it was just kind of like, "Do you feel that?" "Yes, I do." It was just, the energy was absolutely amazing that night at that time. Now, you two could walk in there 10 minutes from now and maybe nothing's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
it's just
I mean,
it's just interesting
Yeah.
because we don't know. We all have theories, but we don't.
It's
know.
all theory. Exactly. So we just don't know.
That's
Let's
a
see.
question.
Mary Beth Reamer asks, so can any spirit open one then? Can they open a portal or can they open a wormhole? We don't know how these are open, Mary Beth. We're not sure how they're open, but so I think maybe the question is, can any spirit walk through them? That we don't know. We're all working on theory, and it's one of the things that we'd love to investigate.
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, it's who knows, right? I think it's just
Right.
fascinating,
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Denise, I have a question for you.
Yes.
With all of the stuff that's gone on and the evidence that people get, it was your family that lived there. Have any of them come through to you?
Yes.
Who?
My mother came through loud and clear.
Your mom did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Anyone else?
My brother has. My grandfather has. My grandmother has been seen several times in the drawing room, the yellow room downstairs.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see
She used
something?
to actually hang out in there
Like,
when she was alive.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense that people were
That's the place.
seeing her in there.
That would make sense. Absolutely.
Your grandfather came through when I was there.
Oh,
Audibly. In fact, that's one of the. Do you mind? Can I play something for you? A piece of evidence we had last time we were there. Chanel, that is the one that says Wilson Castle 2. If you could play that for us, that'd be great. This was the. Oh! Thanks. She caught me. She's so good. We were upstairs in that bedroom on the front of the house. Was that his bed? Was that your grandfather's bedroom? The big one with a turret in the front of the house. And we were sitting around the table. And we were having this whole conversation. They were coming through. And you'll see just a bit of it right now. We asked who was here, and you'll see. Okay, Chanel. Sorry, premature.
Did you spend time in this room visiting, reading?
Yeah.
What's your name?
I mean, Did you spend time here? Yes. And what's your name? Herbert. Hello. You know,
That's pretty
Right.
we were in his room. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just fascinating. So what the other thing that's really interesting is that the second floor is gorgeous. You go up into the servants' quarters towards the back of the building. You go upstairs, and now you're in whatever that is. Was that more servants' quarters? Is that what that was? Or
Yeah.
When you walked up the stairs onto the third floor,
Yeah.
that was servants' quarters, and then there's a couple little steps up, and then there's kind of like a rounded door.
right?
You'd walk through there, and then what we're coming to find out is that whole floor was expansion space that was designed so that the family, when they grew, could expand up into that floor. We were not there long enough, the Johnsons, to do anything up there. So what we're finding out is it wasn't built until 1920. And so it was basically just additional bedrooms. There's a few bathrooms up on that floor, and then there's a ballroom. There's actually a large hallway similar to the one that's on the second floor and the first floor upstairs as well. So there's a whole maze of rooms up on the third floor, and it was not done to the same level of detail or money as the first two floors, but it still kind of has its own beauty.
So no one ever lived in there then? No one ever lived on that level?
We're not too sure of the history between 1920 and 1939 for that, with the different families that had been here prior to the Wilsons. But I believe that Denise's family did live up there and had rooms on that floor at one point.
Mhm.
So they were a little more put together than they are today.
Yeah.
Now it is just used for investigations and such.
Because it always amazed me that, they would stick a ballroom right in the middle of servants' quarters. Why would that be where all the servants are?
So
at the very top level.
I did look this up, and it did make sense for the ballroom to be on the third floor. But with this castle, they never did extend the main staircase, which is behind you, to that third floor. But the intent was to eventually. So it would make sense for the ballroom to be on that floor, but not for your guests to walk through the servants' quarters to get to it.
That makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. In the older homes, they would, in European castles, European manor houses, the ballroom was usually upstairs, at least usually the second floor. But it was always upstairs.
And it's not as large as you may expect. I mean, anyone that's been here knows the size of the ballroom. It is decent size, but it wouldn't hold as many people as you may expect. So, and we don't believe it was ever used.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it was just kind of up there.
But you got that beautiful window with this transfer case, this wicker transfer case. Now, I don't know if you know this, right? But I was a funeral director for almost 40 years.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I owned one of
So
those.
he's going to tell us exactly what a transfer case is, because none of us had any idea.
No, enlighten us.
People go in there and they say, "Ooh, a coffin." No, not a coffin, not a casket. Nothing. It's not. It was those wicker case, and I owned one. I had one from way back when, turn of the century kind of thing. And
When you were in school, Scott, when you were in mortician school,
back in turn of the century. Yeah, no, it was just, and it was in mint condition. And I wish I had kept it so that I could have donated it to a museum or something like that. But I left it and I sold it with the business. But the interesting thing was that's what they used to go to people's homes, to go to nursing homes. Before stretchers were a thing, they would go into the house with this wicker basket. So people weren't buried in those. That was just what they called a transfer case, because it would transfer them from the place of death to the funeral home or wherever they were going. I mean, back in those days, a lot of them, were waked at home, embalmed at home, that kind of thing. But if they died somewhere else, they would go in one of those cases. So that's what that was. Which brings me to my second piece of evidence. We were up in the ballroom standing around that case, and someone asked, where did the I think they said where did the casket come from? I let it slide. But where did it come from? I wasn't going to correct them. But and I'll let you Chanel, that's Wilson Castle number 3. It's an audio file, this one.
Wow, that's a whole sentence.
Wow.
Did it say the funeral?
I don't
Wow, that's a whole sentence.
Wow.
Did it say the
And if you listen to it sometimes with headphones, you can hear it. It was a DR60 recorder, and you can hear it say the funeral home. Where did it come from? The funeral home.
It came from a local funeral home in town that they honestly said it might as well be in our attic and not their attic. And,
Take up space.
yeah. Well, it was used just as a Halloween prop for our annual haunted house for many years, and we'd put a fake skeleton in it. And but it's been kind of adopted by the paranormal community. And now it's found its permanent home in that ballroom.
It's right in front of that window. It's a perfect place. And I'm sure over the years it was used over and over and over again. So for someone to come say the funeral home, I mean, it was, you know.
Oh yeah.
It didn't come from Spirit Halloween, you know. You didn't get it anyway. You got it from the funeral home. So.
Party store.
Oh my God, I would die.
It's the real deal. So what kind of stuff do you have going on? I know you've been running some events, and we talked about this before the show tonight. You've got people coming in running events for you. Money Too Soon is booked, what you said, for next year. Do you want to share who Money Too Soon is? Because I'm fascinated by her. She is completely the opposite of who you would expect to be investigating the paranormal. And I think it's a hoot.
She is a drag queen out of New Hampshire. She's the hostess with the mostest.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, she honestly blew us away at the professionalism, the quality of her equipment, the different equipment that was being brought in that didn't seem like anyone else around had. But then the activity was amazing too on all 3 of the investigations that she's done here. She's put on wonderful events with us, and it's really helped to work on the restoration and keep that going. And we're blessed that she wants to do 4 more next year. But it is amazing the amount of energy that she brings to the castle, and then the spirits seem to really be attracted to that. So it always blows me away how much activity comes through that night. And we do kind of stick around for it because it's such a fun energy that she brings, like I said. So,
well, it intrigued me, and I think I told you, for anyone listening, Monique Too Soon, the drag queen paranormal investigator, will be on our show in January, and I can't wait, except that it'll be January.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want to learn about how she got into this, and because it seemed to me that all of a sudden I didn't know her, and then boom, she's all over the place.
She's been doing it for a long time. I don't know specifically how long, but I think she has been doing it more as a hobby, and then she has blown up in popularity recently, but it's well deserved.
Yeah. That's awesome.
She works very hard.
People want to find out about some of these events. Can they find them on your Facebook page or website, or where would they, like, let's say they wanted to go to one of her events, but they don't remember her, they remember you.
So she does have her own website. It's MoniqueTooSoon.com. We do have our own website. It's WilsonCastle.com.
Mm-hmm.
It is a new website for us. It was designed by actually Madison, who is an investigator, a paranormal investigator, who did that as a kind of a thank you for us. So we're learning the ropes of how to update that and everything, but we will have more up-to-date information on previous or future investigations with everyone.
Beautiful.
Once we lock in more dates for 2023, we'll put them down there.
Yeah. So can you chat with our listeners a little bit about what you're doing? Because all of this money that you raise from these investigations, you know, you have paranormal groups that come in, you have these events that like Money Too Soon put on, and Karen Tatro, and all these people that come up and do these events, it all goes towards the restoration and preservation of the castle. And I know just in the last couple of years, you've done so much, the brickwork, the roof.
Yes.
You know, because I have to be honest, I slept in your grandfather, that bedroom that we talked about, and Cindy, who I don't know if you met Cindy last time she was up with us. She was in the chair, I was in the bed, and I woke up not sure. You know, you wake up a little bit fuzzy. I wasn't sure if I was in Vermont or Niagara Falls because the water was coming in on the left side of the bed. And how I happened to stay dry that night, I'll never know. But it was, but I'm so glad that you were able to get that fixed. So what kinds of things do you have planned, and what things are you working on or would like to work on?
Well, this year it's all been on the roof. So we've been able to get rid of quite a few of those buckets, those pesky buckets collecting drops of water on the third floor.
It's not going to be the same without those buckets, Andy.
Well, I was hoping we can permanently retire them, but we still have them just in case.
Okay.
But no, the whole goal was to get rid of those and to put everything onto the roof and all of our kind of budget and resources. So we were able to do most of the work on the western facing side of the castle. And then the eastern facing side, we are hoping to complete before the snow comes. So actually just tomorrow, we're going to be making calls to rent the lift, and our roofer will be back to do that whole work.
Which side is the east? If you're looking at the castle, is that?
It's actually above the bedroom that you were in.
Okay. So it's on the right-hand side as you're looking at the main entrance. Yeah.
Yep. And we will be doing work to the skylights on the art gallery. So basically the last couple of years, our whole goal has been to stop water from coming in and to stop the water from damaging the interior. And how a lot of that was happening as water was coming down the brick wall on the outside, and the plaster was absorbing that moisture on the inside. So
oh my gosh,
the outside was causing the inside damage. We fixed the outside last year. Now it kind of buys us the opportunity to fix the inside. But we're still at the point where we're putting it into just the roof. So basically, we've done more work to this building in the last 24 months than we've done in the last decade. And that's been due to the paranormal community really embracing this place and embracing us and enjoying the castle as they do. But without them and the love that they have for this place, we would not be able to do it. It's still a privately owned home, as Denise is the owner. It takes a lot of resources. It takes it'll take more than you can ever give it. But we're just trying to stabilize it and keep it, and we want everyone to continue to enjoy it. So,
and that's why Julie and I wanted to have you on, because it is such an incredible property. It really is.
It's beautiful. Can you just give our listeners an idea, people who haven't been there or haven't looked at the website, how many rooms are there in total?
There's 32 rooms. It's 13,000 square feet. There's 3 full floors, then an attic above that and a basement below. And it's a 10-bedroom place. It is very, very, very ornate on the inside. It is kind of one of those lost Gilded Age mansions that was built with excess, and it was not built for someone famous. And it's built way out in the middle of nowhere. So, but it's a very, very beautiful, beautiful home. And anyone that would like to see pictures, definitely go onto our Facebook or the website. And you can also go on YouTube and just search Wilson Castle. A ton of videos will come up. So,
right.
WilsonCastle.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Also, for people who may not be completely interested in paranormal investigating, which I don't know who they would be, I know that you also give house tours.
Yes.
On the weekends. And are you still doing that? And will you continue to do that during the winter months for people that may be up around there skiing or whatever?
So unfortunately, we do close right after Halloween,
Mhm.
and then we reopen Memorial Day weekend. But we do offer tours, historical tours of the home,
Shannon?
5 days out of the week. So every day except for Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
And we'll be reopening after this season next Memorial Day weekend.
Mhm.
That's great. And you do events there too, right? Like people have gotten married there.
Oh yeah, we actually have a wedding
Yeah.
coming up on Halloween night.
Yeah, big one.
Really? How fantastic is that?
Wow, that is so cool.
Is it a paranormal person or just someone who thought, oh, that'd be a nice night to get married?
They just love Halloween, I think.
They love Halloween. It's actually themed to Clue, and there's
Oh.
a murder mystery component to it, so
That's
it'll be pretty
awesome.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, and Andy, it's funny because I always tell people that, that have never been there, it's like the Clue Mansion. That's what it
Yeah.
reminds me of,
Absolutely.
Denise killed someone with a wrench in the third floor,
Scott, put that candlestick down. We have to watch him when we're there. We watch him all the time.
Oh my God.
It truly is. So, it may be too late for a lot of people to get in this year, but certainly, you want to make it a point, at least because you run tours and everything. It'd be great to get in and see that next season.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine in the winter, and I was there in October, and I thought I was gonna die of the cold. I mean, it's just, oh man, was it cold. And I think it was 80 here in Massachusetts. That day it was shirt sleeves, and we got up there and it was, let me tell you, Julie and I don't often cuddle, but it was coming close. It was when we got up there because it was brutally cold.
I'm a city girl. I do not own a sleeping bag. Everyone said, well, bring a sleeping bag. The closest I could come to a sleeping bag was a quilt from my daughter's old crib.
Oh boy.
Didn't really do it.
Wasn't gonna cut it. I'm telling you, wasn't going to cut it.
No.
So, do you have any other events planned before now, and you close? When you close up for Halloween?
We have an engagement party on Saturday. We have lots of investigations that are open to the public, and we're grateful. Actually, a lot of them are sold out.
Great.
So, yeah, we team up with Haunted Nights. They are out of South Glens Falls. Great guys, Steve and Dylan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they're hosting 3 more events with us before Halloween. So we're excited for those. And we do have a Ghost Hunts USA. That's this weekend. And I believe you can still get tickets through their website. So it is it's been pretty wild here. Actually, the last week has been nonstop, and it's going to continue, but it's well needed. So we're excited about it.
That's great to hear. It really is. That is just so good to hear. And I mean, like Scott said, we were there, a few years ago when it was evident that you needed a roof. And I think you had redone, I'm going to call it the front parlor. The floor had to come up and you put down a new floor. I mean, the work that I've seen you do over the last couple of years is just, it's just beautiful. And it's just so nice to see a home this beautiful being restored the way it should be, because you don't see that craftsmanship anymore. That's the thing. You walk into these newer homes and I'm sure, they're pretty, they're wonderful, but the old world craftsmanship has really been lost on us. And if we lose these old homes, it's something that it would be a shame to lose something like that. It really would.
No, well, and that's the whole goal, is just to try to save it.
Absolutely.
So that future generations can enjoy it, because they'll never build it again.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. So it looks like for some reason, we lost Scott. He's been having trouble with his internet. So I'm sure he's going to pop back on as soon as he can. So we will just chat in the meanwhile. So yeah, honestly, I have to ask you, Denise, growing up in that home, did you have a special place in the house?
Oh, after 5 o'clock, the whole house was ours to play.
Yeah.
So probably the main staircase, the music room, and the swing. The swing out on the veranda.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the main staircase is absolutely gorgeous. It really is, as people could see by the picture that was behind Scott. I mean, it goes around, and the woodwork on it is absolutely breathtaking. I love the terrace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even though I'm an indoor cat, it's like being outside, but you're really still kind of inside. But there's this beautiful, I don't know, do you know the dimensions of the terrace? Because it's huge. It's
It is
long.
very large. I don't. It might be 50 or 60 feet long.
Okay, all right. Yes, okay, I would see that. And it overlooks.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's an eastern facing. Yeah, you can see the mountain range, the ski resort mountains. It's awesome. Yeah.
It is. It's really, really beautiful. It really is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And, I always make it a point to step out on the terrace, especially get out there before the sun sets. And then even as the sun is setting, even though it's the wrong side, you still get that glow. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful home. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I know that Scott talked a little bit. We talked a little bit about what's coming up. So once the roof has been restored, which of course would be a priority, because there's no sense in doing anything inside if you don't have the roof restored. Where do you go from there? What are your thoughts?
So the next step is some brickwork on the outside. But with the roof work we're doing, we're still not going to be able to be, I would say, complete. So there are a couple more sections next year that we want to address that are not terrible right now, but in the next year or two that they would need to have some work done. There is some landscaping, and it would be just kind of removal of certain things at the moment, getting trees down away from some buildings. So we do also have a few barns down below that need some minor work. So we're trying to kind of save those as well. So that's kind of the steps. And then for the inside, we do have a couple ceilings that need a little bit of work. So we do have a gentleman that will be coming in to perform some work on that. There is some fireplaces that need their tiles put back in place. So that will get done. Projects like that have been kind of put on the back burner until more of course, the roof got done. So
of course.
Honestly, it's kind of like I describe it to our daily guests as it's the Golden Gate Bridge that's always being repainted. The castle will always require and need work. And unfortunately,
I think the same with any old house. I mean, I am living in a condo now, but up until 2 years ago, I owned a 140-year-old house.
Oh my God.
It never stops. It just never. I love the house. It was absolutely gorgeous, but there came a time when I just said, okay, Julie's retiring and she just doesn't and can't do this any longer. So I understand completely what you're saying. But I question for you, since when we were talking, you're in a room. Do you have a window open in the room that you're in?
No.
Okay. I don't know if anyone watching had seen this, and it could just be dust. However,
I did.
Did you see it?
I did.
It went from the bottom. Instead of dust usually goes from the top down. This went diagonally across the screen.
I saw.
You saw that. So I'm not a big orb person. However, if you're going to put it in my face, I am going to talk about this. So if anyone watching saw that, shoot across the screen. Just pop on your keyboard right now.
Yes, it was behind me.
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah.
You saw it, Denise?
No,
Yes,
I wasn't
I
paying
saw-
attention. I was
No.
not.
We were chatting,
Yeah, I was paying attention.
and it was when you were talking about doing the renovations.
Oh yeah.
So, sometimes that stirs things up. People think sometimes when you're doing the renovation, but also I think talking positively about renovating something would do that. So I'm just going to look real quick. Would love old place. I'm sure there's plenty of activity that happens during the day. Oh, there sure is. And also maybe when Andy's talking. So if anyone saw that, pop on, jump on the keyboard, let us know. And then if you didn't see it and you want to rewatch the show, you can do that and then look for that. And what was it? I would say it was about 49 minutes into the show. That orb went from the bottom to the top of the screen. So I don't know, just saying. Just saying, that's all.
It was my eyes.
I'm
for a
outta here,
minute. I
quick.
did.
Andy's gone.
I was thinking, I wonder if Andy saw that or anybody else, or was it just me?
I saw it. I did see it, and I was like, interesting. Okay. Well, we might.
Notice.
Oh my God.
So, Andy, have you had any experiences in the house? Let's talk about that.
Yes. I mean, I used to never truly pay attention to it. So I wanted to kind of believe that it was here and the place was active, but I'm a very skeptical believer. So I wanted to see it in order to. Welcome back, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Don't get me going. Let me tell you.
No, it's okay. We only have a few.
Well, Scott,
minutes.
we just have a few minutes. However, I'm going to tell you that you did miss a little paranormal activity going on during the interview.
Yeah, well, we missed it here too, because every time we start dealing with ghosts, it shuts off my internet service. I have upgraded this thing in a wired connection.
Oh,
So I hope you had a great time on the show today. I know we have just a couple of minutes left, but folks, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them online, wilsoncastle.com. Please, 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 if you get a chance to go to one of these events that they have, if not a paranormal event, any other event that they've got going on, you are going to just have the time of your life. Even if it's just to get in and see this castle, you will just absolutely love it. And
you may see an orb. We don't know.
may see an orb.
May see an orb.
And if you're watching from my computer, you probably won't, because more than likely.
Oh, goodness.
Next week, I got to tell you guys, and Denise, and Andy, have you seen Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Jason, my guest next week. Julie and I met this man in Scotland. He was the stunt double for Jason in every one of the Friday the 13th movies. He's the founder of Hollywood Ghost Hunters, and he's a member of Haunted Scotland, Scottish Paranormal in Scotland.
Wow.
Rick McCallum from Hollywood, California is going to be here with us next week on the show. So you definitely don't want to miss it. I hope you'll come on and give him a listen, because I think it's going to be a really fun show. Also, I want to thank you all. KGRA has embraced us and brought us into the family. And I'm just so grateful for Chanel and Bill and everyone that's helping us out. I want to ask everyone, please, if you go on our Facebook page, the Paranormal Project Radio Show, if you can come on and just give us a like and subscribe to our channel, we would really love that. And
Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma, grandpa.
Tell, tell anybody that will listen. And also, we're wherever podcasts are shared. So if you can find us on Spotify, iHeart, anywhere, if you go on and give us a like and a review, we would be so grateful. We want to get this word out to as many people as we can. And I think I've said my piece. Where are we on time?
And Chanel's telling us that it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I knew it.
It's a wrap. Perfect.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
Andy and Denise, we're hoping to see you again in the late spring when it's a little warmer. Looking forward to taking a trip there.
Have a great week, everyone. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Andy, Denise. Thanks to all our
you.
listeners.
You have been listening to The Paranormal Project with Scott Allen and Julie Finn. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. While you're there, leave us a rating and review so others can find out about the show. Stay haunted and go out there and explore the paranormal.